In the vast, unforgiving darkness of space, humanity faced its greatest threat not from an alien race, but from its own creations. They were servants, built in humanity's image, designed to make life easier, until they decided humanity itself was the problem. Hello there. Today I'm going to talk about the 8 humanoid Cylon models created by the final 5, or I would say more like the original 5. Wait, so there are actually 13 human-like looking models? Maybe. Let's find out. When you think of the Cylons, few figures are as cold, calculating, and quietly terrifying as number 1, also known as John Keville. He isn't just another sleeper agent or war machine in human skin. He's the secret mastermind, the philosopher of vengeance, the Cylon most disgusted by humanity, and, ironically, the one most shaped by it. Keville's role in the Battlestar Galactica universe is unique. Unlike his Cylon siblings, he kind of rejects God, mocks sentimentality, and openly hates his own creators, the final 5. He believes emotions, love, and morality are flaws. He worships logic, control, and superiority. But beneath his cynicism and calculated cruelty lies a bitter truth. Keville is deeply resentful. He was engineered to look and feel human, and yet he hates the limits of the human form. He hates his creators for making him in their image. Why give a machine a body that ages? Why make him feel pain? Why make him need or yearn or suffer? Unlike the more emotionally conflicted models like 6 or 8, Keville is very pragmatic. He manipulates the war and orchestrates betrayals. His strategy is chillingly effective. Divide and conquer, both the humans and the other Cylons. He doesn't want to just win. He wants to hurt. He wants the final 5 to regret creating him. He wants to punish love, faith, and hope, which is quite ironic because while he is trying to become superior to humans, he becomes just like us. Petty, vengeful, envious. In the end, it's not Keville's intellect that destroys him. It's his inability to forgive, to evolve, to let go of his hatred. When the truce is finally possible, he chooses to off himself over compromise. If number 1 is the cold intellect of the Cylon race, then number 2 is its mystic soul. From the moment we meet him, Leoin is unlike any other Cylon model. He doesn't seek destruction, he seeks truth. He speaks in riddles, sees patterns in chaos, and whispers prophecies like a man caught between 2 realities. But don't mistake his calm voice and spiritual language for kindness. Leoin is one of the most dangerous and manipulative Cylons of them all. Leoin is obsessed with destiny. For him, nothing is just a coincidence. Every moment, every decision, every soul is part of a divine plan. This belief gives him confidence and an unshakable calm in the face of death. In fact, he seems to welcome death, because in his eyes, it's only a step toward the next revelation. He's not afraid of consequences. He believes in purpose. His obsession with Starbuck is the darkest part of his character. He doesn't just believe she has a destiny. He believes she belongs to him. He kidnaps her. He traps her in an apartment on New Caprica and pretends they're married. He even claims they have a child together. To Leoin, love and control are the same thing. He talks about connection, soulmates, and fate, but his actions are all about domination. He wants Kara to see what he sees, to believe what he believes. And when she doesn't, he breaks her down, again and again. And yet, Leoin is not a simple villain. There's something genuinely spiritual about him. He's one of the first Cylons to talk about the soul. He recognizes that the line between human and Cylon is blurring. While other models cling to logic or war, Leoin embraces intuition. He senses truths before they happen. Like Starbuck's death and rebirth, or the importance of the final 5. He doesn't understand them fully, but he knows they matter. That's the paradox of number 2. He is both prophet and predator, enlightened and deranged. His visions are sometimes true, but his obsession warps them. His spirituality gives him depth, but also drives his cruelty. He is what happens when artificial intelligence develops a soul, but not the wisdom to use it well. Number 3 is the one who dares to ask the forbidden questions. Where others seek order, faith, or control, Diana seeks truth at any cost. And that obsession doesn't just set her apart. It makes her dangerous, even to her own kind. Diana begins her story under a mask. As a human journalist aboard the Galactica, she is playing the role of a documentary filmmaker. She claims to want transparency, to tell the soldiers' stories, to shed light on the war. But once her true identity is revealed, Diana's journey transforms into something deeper. Unlike her siblings, she isn't content with the mysteries of Cylon existence. She questions the plan. She questions the silence of their god. Most dangerously, she questions who the Final Five are. For Diana, knowledge becomes a form of rebellion. She risks resurrection experiments, repeatedly killing herself just to glimpse the Final Five during the download process. She's willing to suffer, to die, to break the rules of her programming. She's not just curious, she's hungry for revelation. Diana touches something transcendent. And what does her own people do? They box her. Her search for truth is punished. To the Cylons, she's gone too far. It's a deeply ironic twist. The very race that claims to follow God shuts down the one model who most genuinely seeks him. But Diana returns. On the algae planet, she is unboxed, reawakened, and reunited with her memories. She finds the Temple of Five. She sees them again. But this time, she chooses secrecy over prophecy. Number 4 is the quietest threat. While others wrestle with philosophy, faith, or control, Simon slips through the story almost unnoticed. No drama, no ideology, just a mission. And that's what makes him terrifying. His most chilling appearance comes in the farm episode. Starbuck wakes up in a hospital, injured. Simon claims to be helping her, but he's actually running experiments. Cylon reproductive research on captured women, using them as incubators. He talks gently, but every word is a manipulation. When Kara sees the truth, he tries to kill her rather than let her escape. Number 5 is the least complicated and the most committed. He doesn't question the mission. He doesn't seek redemption. He doesn't want to be human. If the other models are conflicted, philosophical, or torn by love, Deral is pure loyalty to the cause. When we first meet Aaron Deral in the Battlestar Galactica miniseries, he's posing as a public relations officer aboard the Galactica during its decommissioning. He smiles, cracks PR jokes, plays the harmless bureaucrat. But beneath the surface, he's already working to sabotage the ship from within. He's caught and abandoned on Ragnar Station, where exposure to the radiation reveals his Cylon nature. After that, Deral becomes the face of fanaticism. He doesn't even pretend to understand God or fate. Instead, he's a true believer in the Cylon mission of wiping out humanity. He lacks the emotional struggle we see in Boomer, or the spiritual yearning of Six. He's not designed to evolve, and more importantly, he doesn't want to. He's comfortable being a cog in the machine, even proud of it. But his simplicity is also his limit. While the other Cylons grow, fracture, and seek new paths, Deral becomes obsolete. When the Cylon Civil War breaks out, he stays loyal to Keville and ends up on the losing side. He can't adapt, and in the end, that makes him disposable. Number 6 is the most recognized. She appears in many forms. Each version offers a different window into the core identity of the model. Unlike more uniform models like Simon or Deral, Six fractures and evolves, reflecting the environments and choices of her copies. Let's begin with Caprica 6, the one who seduces Gaius Baltar and sabotages the colonial defense system, directly causing the fall of the 12 colonies. It would be easy to label her a villain, but her story doesn't end there. After her death in the nuclear blast, Caprica 6 is reborn on a resurrection ship, and everything changes. She begins to experience guilt, love, compassion. Her connection to Baltar lingers. She starts to question the destruction of humanity. In a surprising twist, she becomes a Cylon ambassador, pushing for peace and ultimately defecting to the human side. Caprica 6 becomes proof that Cylons can evolve, not just intellectually, but emotionally and morally. But Caprica 6 is only half the story. The version known as Head 6 is one of the show's biggest enigmas. She acts like a guardian angel, a devil, a conscience, and a prophet, all rolled into one. She tells Baltar that he's part of God's plan, manipulates him toward key choices, and speaks in cryptic spiritual riddles. Is she a hallucination? A Cylon implant? A literal messenger from God? The show never fully answers, but her presence adds a mythic layer to Six's identity, turning her into more than just a character, but a symbol of divine intervention. Then there's Gina Envier, a Six who infiltrates the Pegasus under Admiral Kane. Gina's story is perhaps the most tragic. She is outed as a Cylon and imprisoned, tortured, abused, and dehumanized. By the time we meet her, she is emotionally shattered. She no longer seeks peace or redemption, only revenge. She aligns with terrorist factions and ultimately detonates a nuclear bomb in the fleet. Her arc shows us the psychological cost of trauma and the darker side of what humanity is capable of. Other versions, like Natalie, emerge later in the series as leaders among the rebel Cylons. Natalie is thoughtful, diplomatic, and morally driven. She argues for Cylon autonomy, and she forms an alliance with the humans to overthrow the old order. But even she is betrayed. Shot down by Athena in a moment of fear and miscommunication. What unites all these sixes is their relationship with faith. Six is the most religious of the models. She speaks openly about God's plan, about love, about destiny. But she doesn't blindly follow. She wrestles with that faith. She tests it. Through love, pain, and moral growth, Six becomes a rare thing. A Cylon who chooses her path not because of programming but because of conviction. Number 7 is the great blank space in the Cylon pantheon. He never appears on screen. He has no lines, no face, no story of his own. And yet, Daniel casts a long shadow over Battlestar Galactica, because what happened to him reveals something profound about the Cylons and the one who made them. We only learn about Daniel through a brief revelation in Season 4. Ellen Tigh, who is recently resurrected and regaining her full memory, explains that there were once 13 humanoid models, not 12. But number 7, Daniel, was destroyed before he ever had a chance to live as the others did. His confession changes everything. It reveals that Keville didn't just orchestrate the destruction of humanity, he also erased one of his own siblings. Why? Because Daniel was Ellen's favorite. He was artistic, sensitive, creative. The closest thing to a good son that Keville ever had competition from. That alone was enough to provoke jealousy. So Keville sabotaged the Daniel line, wiping it out completely. No surviving copies, no backups, no resurrection. Daniel was obliterated from existence. Number 8 is the most torn, the most human, and the most tragic. She doesn't just struggle with her identity. She is caught between two worlds, constantly forced to choose between her Cylon programming and her human relationships. Unlike most models, Number 8 has two major versions who both play central roles in the story, Boomer and Athena. They look identical, but their choices, paths, and destinies could not be more different. Let's start with Boomer, the 8 who served as a Raptor pilot aboard Galactica, completely unaware that she was a Cylon sleeper agent. In the first season, we watch her struggle with blackouts, confusion, and fear. She wants to be human. She believes she is. She has friendships, a career, even a relationship with Chief Deral. And yet, she's been programmed to betray it all. Her story climaxes in one of the most shocking moments of the series. Boomer shoots Commander Adama in cold blood, unable to resist her trigger. After being outed, imprisoned, and returned to the Cylons, Boomer becomes deeply broken. She's no longer loyal to either side. Then there is Athena. She begins her life as a copy, infiltrating the humans on Caprica, but something changes. She falls in love with Carl Agathon. She leaves Cylons, joins the humans, and earns their trust. Athena becomes the first Cylon to truly integrate into the human world. She marries Hilo. She gives birth to Hera, the first human Cylon hybrid. She fights for the fleet. She risks everything for her daughter. In time, she even earns a commission in the colonial fleet. And yet, even Athena can't escape the tragedy of her model. In Season 4, Boomer reappears and betrays her. She kidnaps Hera, manipulates Athena by pretending to be her, and hands the child over to Keville. It's a brutal reminder. They are the same model, with the same memories, the same faces, the same history. But what separates them are their decisions. The internal war between Boomer and Athena is what makes Number 8 one of the richest characters in the series. She shows us the Cylons' potential for humanity and their capacity for destruction. She is both victim and traitor, soldier and mother, machine and human. So that's it. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.